In this video, I'm going to look at the most expensive sneakers the world has ever seen. Damn, sneakers. Back in the day, they'd set you back like $10. Maybe still have enough change left over to get some gum. Now celebs are cranking them out and asking for your kidneys and liver in return. Sauteed and onions and cream, no less. So, you got $104,000 to spare the taxman doesn't know about? Well, that's what a fella at an auction forked over for an Air Jordan 12. But this was just not any Air Jordan 12. This particular sneaker was what MJ had on the famous Game 5 of the 1997 NBA Finals. The game and the sneaker are both super memorable. Jordan, despite having severe flu-like symptoms and being dehydrated, exhausted, and in pain, still put in an excellent performance and further cemented his already thoroughly cemented reputation as the greatest player the basketball court's ever known. I'm saying this cat scored 38 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and 1 block in the game, and that was enough to give the Bulls a 90-88 win against the Utah Jazz. Such a sneaker, taken from the foot of the Black Cat himself after such an iconic win, would be essentially priceless. So $104,000 feels like the auction winner got the sneakers at a discount. Next up's another Michael Jordan sneaker that fetched $190,373 at auction. Yeah, this fella and his big feet are all over this video. The sneaker in question is Jordan's game-worn Converse Fast Break that he used at the 1984 Olympic trials. They don't have the glitzy and over-the-top look that most of his later shoes have and make them appear to have been borrowed from a Star Wars or Fifth Element movie set. These size 13 sneakers were reportedly in excellent shape and of Jordan's signature, testifying to their authenticity. Converse sneakers were Michael Jordan's preferred footwear all through his time in college. They helped him hone his craft, become the man he is, and win the 1984 Olympic gold medal. He dumped them though. When Nike came waving a contract, he was not in a position to resist, and this included $500,000 a year, plus his very own sneaker line. That sneaker line is making him some serious money, about $130 million in 2019, and we're not envious about that in a little bit. Ready for the next most expensive sneaker? Well, you better get your lightsaber charged. This one's as futuristic as it gets. Yeah, ladies and gents, bring your hands together for the Nike Mag Back to the Future 2. This signed pair by Michael J. Fox was put on the auction block and sold for about $200,000, with the money going to a good cause, Parkinson's research. There are limited editions of these shoes available on the net and varied auction sites, and they are mostly meant for display, but feel free to roll around on one on a skateboard in Times Square if you're interested in destroying such an expensive sneaker in the course of an afternoon. Them shoes have colored lights and stuff, and wearing one of them is almost the same as wearing a pair of lamps on your feet to light your way, so to speak. Apart from the free light show that runs off rechargeable batteries, these shoes have self-fastening laces and look cool. As we said, this is a limited edition sneaker, and you can get one for 4 to 5 figures. 1,510 pairs were released in 2011 and 89 pairs in 2016. Here comes another record breaker, and yeah, it is another Michael Jordan sneaker. Them footies are Michael Jordan's game-worn NBA Finals Air Jordan 6s that fetched $252,000 when he put them on sale. He had them on when he won this very first NBA championship, and that makes them extra special. Finds what iconic means and comes in black, with the sole having more color. The inspiration behind the design, believe it or not, came from Jordan's Porsche 911. It was specially made so that he could put on and pull off more easily and be super comfortable. They must have had some magic in them, because shortly after adding these sneakers to his shoe rack, Jordan and the Bulls thrashed the Detroit Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals. Then he and his crew went toe-to-toe with the two-time defending champions and juggernaut that was the Los Angeles Lakers, and emerged victorious. Oh, that sweet taste of success in the boots. Seen the Nike Waffle Racing Flat Moon shoe? Well, if we offered you a copy of these discolored and crumbled sneakers, you would no doubt be offended and ready to sick your pet tiger on us. Just chill, because these old sneakers are worth serious money. $437,500. A Canadian entrepreneur and avid memorabilia collector named Miles Spencer Nadel was the auction winner and current owner of these sneakers, and he plans to put them and other stuff of his on display. Only a dozen moon shoes were made for use at the 1972 Olympic trials, and the one that got gold sold off for nearly $500,000 American in the sole unworn copy. The moon shoe came into existence in 1972. They were crafted by Bill Bowerman, Nike's co-founder, and not exactly handmade masterpieces, sporting soles cut by hand with shears and other unflattering idiosyncrasies. So why did the moon shoe set a record when it was put on sale? Well, the simple answer is that it's a solid and unreplaceable piece of history. According to legend, Bowerman, as an athletic coach, developed the sole of these sneakers by tinkering with the waffle iron of his long-suffering wife. The final product had better grip and cushion than most of its contemporaries and helped put Nike on the map, but it was not edible. Here comes yet another Michael Jordan game-worn sneaker. We're talking about a 1985 Air Jordan 1 that somebody recently forked over $560,000 for. It's almost enough to buy a villa in Mars that you can retire to once you're done being fascinated with the antics and money-spending habits of celebs. These red and white sneakers look perfectly ordinary, and given their repute, one could almost expect them to be more than capable of walking around town on their own when bored. Now, when put up for auction, the general expectation from the fellas at Sotheby's was that these sneakers would fetch from $100,000 to $150,000. Instead, they sold for almost 6 times that estimate, and what a pleasantly wallet-tingling shock that must have been. The Air Jordan 1, of course, was the first sneaker to come from the marriage of convenience that MJ and Nike entered into in the early 1980s. They're perhaps the most iconic sneakers ever, and true aficionados should have no problem identifying them while blindfolded and with their hands tied to a ticking bomb. Now, guess the next most expensive celebrity sneakers that we're going to talk about. Here's a silver dollar reward if you just knew that to be another Michael Jordan shoe. Yeah, the Michael Jordan shattered Blackboard sneakers are the most expensive sneakers we're going to bring your way. Someone who regarded these high-top pieces of history so highly paid $615,000 to have them all to themselves. Now, let's have a little bit of history. On August 25th of 1985, Michael Jordan went to Italy for a Nike-sponsored exhibition game. This game was between Snodero Caserta and Stefano Triste. Air Jordan played the latter team. He scored 30 points and had a good game. History was made when near the end, Jordan, clad in his 23 jersey and wearing his now iconic Air Jordan 1 sneakers, made a one-handed dunk so powerful it shattered the glass backboard. And that's what makes this particular sneaker special enough to warrant its own security. It's time for airships now. The sneakers we're referring to are the 1984 autographed Nike airships, worn by MJ at his 5th NBA game during his rookie season. These red and white shoes went to Sotheby, where they were given the royal treatment and got sold off for a still astonishing $1.47 million. This is a world record, and the first time both pair of sneakers were auctioned off for $1 million smackaroos. Yeah, retired or not, Michael Jordan and his stuff are still out there setting records like no one's business. What a gravity-defying and wallet-shrinking guy he is. The airship lines were the shoes MJ wore in court before Nike fulfilled their promise of giving him his Air Jordan shoe line. The nickname of the airship was pre-Jordans, and they violated NBA regulations at the time, so MJ got fined $5,000 for every game that he wore and used them in, with Nike paying this and benefiting from the publicity. Talk about a win-win, the sneaker way. But it's time we talked about Yeezys and the guy behind the name. We wouldn't say that he sings like an angel, but this fella has some serious business and marketing skills, and his Yeezy line has been extraordinarily profitable. One of his Air Yeezy Ones is currently in the running as the most expensive, if not one of the most expensive pairs of sneakers to ever trod the grass, sand, and concrete of this peachy planet. The Air Yeezy One was a prototype that Kanye and a guy named Mark Smith made for Nike. The world got its first look at these during the 2008 Grammys, which incidentally seemed like 1.5 million years ago. There, the Air Yeezy One shot Kanye scooped up 4 Grammys like they were nothing and sang hits like Hey Mama and Stronger. When these high tops went to auction, they were bought for nearly $2 million by an innovative investing firm called Rares that makes it possible for folks to own fractions of iconic and rare items. The Yeezy One sneakers are made size 12, made of soft black leather, feature perforated details at the top, and look like they could fit Zeus himself. They frankly don't appear to be worth their price, but nothing in these days does. This sneaker has the properly impressive name of Gold Ovo X Air Jordan, and you could save a schoolhouse full of dinosaurs from extinction for the price the owner paid for it. The Gold Ovo X Air Jordan is priced at $2 million, and it's a solid gold pair of shoes that tips the scales at 100 pounds. They were exactingly made by an artist called Matthew Senna, and are perfect replicas of the Ovo X Air Jordan pair of sneakers that normally retail on eBay for less than $1,000. Of course, these golden shoes can't be worn. Drake owns the only pair ever made, and boy did he start from the bottom, and now he's wearing gold shoes in his feelings so that Kiki could love him for real. No, we suck at this rhyming game. Here are more most expensive videos for your enjoyment. See you there.